Hi, my name's Evie, founder of Smart with Money Planning. Today we're going to talk about how did Kanye get a $68 million tax refund? Well, what am I talking about? I believe it was in early November, or matter of fact, October. Kanye West, he said that the previous year, when he filed his 2017 taxes, he made 115 million, but he ended up 35 million in debt. So what does that mean? How could you make 115 million and then end up 35 million in debt? Really, he borrowed more money than he actually profited. So when he says he made 115 million, he's talking about revenue. His expenses were greater than his 115 million in revenue. So that means that if he made 115 million in sales, people paying cash for whatever they bought from him, the cost to create what he was selling to them was likely 150 million. So he ran a huge loss, even though he had so much money in sales. I hopefully that's clear. Um, so then he has this basically like a bag of coupons that he could use for the following year. So that's called a net operating loss on your taxes, and companies can carry losses for multiple years. So if you sell 115 million, but it costs you 150 million to make those sales, and you lose 35 million, and that's like a coupon that you can use to reduce the following year's taxes. So then what Kanye did was the following year, 2018, he was able to probably run more profitably because the whole point of his speech was that it was a good year. Um, and he was withholding some taxes. So as the year was going on, he was paying some taxes to the government. Very similar how you get tax taken out of your paycheck every month. Business owners pay quarterly taxes. And his accounting team estimated that he probably would, let's say, who knows, $50 million in taxes, right? So if he was supposed to owe all this tax because he made so much money, he was on Forbes for like 150 million in income for the year. So what I know I'm just kind of going through numbers, but basically he paid a lot of tax in, and then he had this big coupon for a big loss the previous year. So he gets to apply that to 2018 and then get a huge refund of a lot of those taxes that he paid in the good year. Very similar to part of how Amazon avoids taxes, and a lot of big companies that you'll see people like Bernie Sanders saying they don't pay federal taxes. Whenever a company like Kanye, Amazon or Yeezy, whenever they avoid taxes, usually it came with huge investments of facilities and just business expenses, hiring a bunch of people. So they get to say, yes, they made all this money in sales, but they had to spend all this money to get those sales. So their taxable income, the money that the IRS can count against them, when calculating how much tax they owe, gets reduced by all their business expenses. And then, of course, there's something called a Section 179 deduction, which is basically special tax laws. Some of them were introduced by Trump to allow businesses to get bigger deductions or write-offs from their taxable income based on what they bought or invested in for their business. So it comes down to, if Kanye got a big refund, $68 million, it was because he paid too much money into the IRS system, and he was able to use previous losses to say, hey, I wasn't supposed to pay that much, give me the excess back. And so the IRS gave Kanye 68 million. And I know so hopefully you understand it. And then this is very similar to Amazon. I hate to kind of bring too much information, but Amazon, very similar thing. Based on what they paid in taxes, they had credits from prior years' investments or losses that they could say, hey, we paid too much, give us some of that back. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. That's how Kanye West was able to get a $68 million refund. Thanks.